After age 65, your body stops telling you when you need water, and the reason has nothing to do with how much you drink. The signal itself breaks. Over the next 8 minutes, you'll see exactly why this happens, starting with the brain changes, then the kidney decline, and finally, the one body composition shift that makes everything worse. At the end, I'll give you 5 ways to replace your broken thirst signal before it causes real damage. But first, you need to see how big this problem actually is, because the numbers turned out worse than anyone expected. 79%. That's the proportion of elderly patients who died in hospitals and were found to be dehydrated when they arrived. Not 20%, not half, but 79% of them showed signs of dehydration at admission. And here's what makes this worse. Most of those people had no idea their bodies were running low on water. They never felt thirsty, and their bodies never told them anything was wrong. UCLA Health estimates that up to 40% of adults over 65 are chronically underhydrated, and a 2023 systematic review confirmed that 1 in 4 non-hospitalized older adults has low-intake dehydration right now. These aren't people ignoring their thirst because their thirst signal has failed completely. The explanation involves 3 systems in your body, and if you don't understand all 3, the solutions won't make sense. Deep in the brain sits a region called the hypothalamus, and you can think of it as your body's thirst control center. Inside it, specialized sensors called osmoreceptors constantly monitor your blood concentration, and when that concentration rises too high, meaning you need water, these sensors fire and you feel thirsty. Young bodies run this system with incredible sensitivity, where just a 1 to 2% change in blood concentration triggers thirst immediately. That changes after 65. Research published in the American Journal of Physiology found that older adults have a higher baseline threshold for thirst, which means their blood has to become more concentrated and they have to be more dehydrated before the brain even notices a problem. Scientists call this a blunted response, but that's a polite way of saying your alarm system stops working. A 2023 NPJ aging study examined this at the molecular level and found that aging literally rewires the genes in your hypothalamus, changing the way your brain responds to dehydration at the most basic level. But the brain isn't working alone here, and a second system fails at the same time. Your kidneys are supposed to be the backup system for hydration. When you're young and you don't drink enough water, your kidneys compensate by concentrating your urine and holding on to every drop of fluid your body needs. Research shows that kidney function declines dramatically with age, and renal blood flow drops by up to 50% between age 20 and 80. The glomerular filtration rate, which measures how well your kidneys filter blood, declines by about 1 milliliter per minute per year after age 30. What that means in practice is that older adults have about 50% reduced capacity to conserve water when they're dehydrated, which leaves the backup system doing only half its job. And there's still one more system to talk about, the one that explains why even healthy seniors have less margin for error than they realize. Most people never consider this next part. Muscle tissue contains about 72% water, while fat tissue holds only 20 to 30% water. As people age, they typically lose muscle and gain fat, which means less capacity to store water in the first place. Studies show that total body water percentage drops from about 62% in young adults to as low as 46% in elderly males and 43% in elderly females. And between ages 20 and 80, the average person loses 4 to 6 liters of total body water capacity, which works out to more than a gallon of storage gone. The full picture becomes clear when you put all 3 together. Your brain doesn't sense dehydration properly, your kidneys can't hold on to water like they used to, and your body has less water storage to begin with. 3 systems failing together, and most people have no idea any of it is happening. Before I show you how to fix this, you need to understand what's at stake, because the consequences go far beyond feeling tired. The brain contains 75 to 85% water and needs constant hydration to function properly. Research shows that being just 2% dehydrated, a level you would never feel after 65, impairs attention, memory, and psychomotor skills. And here's what keeps me up at night. The symptoms of dehydration in older adults, including confusion, disorientation, and memory problems, look exactly like early dementia. A study of over 1,000 people found that dehydrated individuals faced higher risk for dementia, and individuals with dementia faced higher risk for dehydration, creating a cycle that feeds on itself. Severe dehydration can cause delirium and hallucinations, symptoms that terrify families into thinking their parent is losing their mind when the real problem might be completely reversible. Falls present another major risk. They're the leading cause of injury-related emergency visits for older Americans, and 1/3 of adults over 65 fall every year. Dehydration contributes through dizziness, low blood pressure, and muscle weakness. And one hydration intervention study documented falls dropping from 52 to 28, a statistically significant reduction just from getting people to drink more water. The connection between hydration and health is clear, and the question becomes what you actually do about it when your body has stopped asking for water. The National Academy of Medicine recommends men over 51 consume about 13 cups of fluid daily, while women need about 9 cups. And this includes all fluids from water, tea, coffee, soup, and moisture from food. Since thirst can't be trusted anymore, you need systems to replace it. The first replacement is scheduled drinking. Don't wait to feel thirsty because that feeling isn't coming, and instead drink at set times upon waking, with each meal and at intervals between, making your schedule your new thirst signal. The second replacement is urine monitoring. Pale yellow means adequate hydration, and dark yellow means you need to drink now, giving you external feedback to replace the internal feedback that no longer works. The third replacement is eating your hydration. Research shows 20 to 30% fluid needs can come from food, and cucumber and lettuce contain 96% water. Watermelon contains 92%, and tomatoes contain 94%. The fourth replacement is keeping water visible. Put a glass or bottle within arm's reach by your chair, by your bed, and in every room, because out of sight means out of mind, and you want hydration to be the path of least resistance. The fifth replacement is medication awareness. Diuretics, laxatives, and certain blood pressure and diabetes medications all increase dehydration risk. So if you take any of these, talk to your doctor about adjusting your fluid intake. Your body protected you with thirst signals for decades, telling you when to drink and keeping you alive without you ever thinking about it. After 65, that system begins to fail. As the brain changes, the kidneys change, and the body's capacity to hold water shrinks. Up to 40% of older adults are chronically underhydrated, and many will experience confusion, falls, or infections that could have been prevented. The 79% figure from those hospital deaths reminds us how serious this can get. But now you know why this happens, and you know what to do instead. The thirst signal is broken, but you don't need it anymore because you have something better, which is a system.